Well, hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 dermatologist-approved tips to help clear up your skin fast. Whether you're dealing with acne breakouts, flares of rosacea, maybe you don't even have a clue what the heck is going on with your face, I promise you, these 5 tips are what I would tell anyone out there who's going through some sort of skin problem. Well, what I would tell anyone, of course, who's going through any sort of skin problem is to do the best you can to get in to see your healthcare provider and, if necessary, a board-certified dermatologist to evaluate what is going on with you so that they can come up with the best treatment plan to get you on the road to clearing up your skin. However, I recognize that this is not always as straightforward as the recommendation sounds. For a lot of you, there's a long wait to get in to see your healthcare provider, let alone a dermatologist, can take even longer. Some of you may live in remote areas where you don't have access to a dermatologist. I completely understand. Actually, this is a super common issue for a lot of people. But here's what I really wish a lot of people understood is that many conditions, not all, but many conditions in dermatology of the skin will actually go away on their own if you do nothing. And I know that can sound a little like, yeah, sure. On the flip side, there are many conditions that will be aggravated by the things that you try and do. You may try an over-the-counter treatment, but it's the wrong treatment for what you have going on. Not only is it not helpful, but it could actually worsen the condition. Furthermore, you may actually cause too much irritation and obscure what is going on in the first place, so that by the time you get in to see your dermatologist, your healthcare provider, there's so much irritation going on that it obscures what is actually going on in the first place and makes it harder to diagnose and get an accurate picture of what is going on. But like I said, the urge to act quickly is strong. So what can you do? First of all, ask yourself this: what supplements am I taking? People don't realize that supplements, they sound safe, natural even, but many supplements do in fact have side effects, including for your skin. A lot of supplements out there can trigger and or aggravate acne. Breakouts triggered by supplements, they typically appear sort of all at once out of nowhere, oftentimes on the chest, the back, the upper trunk in general, but on the face as well. And they typically appear what we describe as monomorphic, meaning all the spots look more or less the same. Acne eruptions from supplements notoriously can happen with high doses of biotin, B12, iodine, even whey protein supplements. Some protein supplements actually have been found to be adulterated with anabolic steroids, which definitely can trigger a rip-roaring acne. Check out my recent video actually on supplements that are associated with acne. I go into a deep dive there so you can learn more about what supplements might be breaking out in that video. Furthermore, some dietary supplements, sports drinks, if you will, have ingredients in them that can bring about enhanced blood flow, and with that comes more flushing, redness. If you have rosacea, that can trigger a flare. You can get those little rosacea bumps along with that. Many of them are filled with pus, very frustrating. You can actually be allergic to iron supplements, leading to an allergic skin reaction with itching and hives in some cases. And when you hear the word supplement, a lot of times what comes to mind is like, oh yeah, something like a vitamin or a pill. I'm not taking anything like that. But be cognizant of the fact that vitamins, minerals, supplements, if you will, they are making their way into a lot of things these days. Also, branched chain amino acids can increase something called insulin-like growth factor 1 and potentially drive more oil production and aggravate acne. Whey protein is likewise thought to aggravate acne by increasing IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor. So it may be a matter of something in the supplement or the protein itself, and it may benefit you to switch to another type of protein like pea protein. Provided the supplement is not deemed medically necessary for you, here's the good news. Once you stop taking it, you remove it, the breakout, whatever it is you're dealing with, will pretty much go away within a couple of weeks, especially acne triggered by supplements. Tip number 2, stay away from over-the-counter medications. Don't get me wrong, we have a ton of great medications that patients can access over-the-counter without a prescription to treat their conditions, skin conditions, other medical conditions, without having to rely on a prescription, without having to rely on refilling it. I mean, definitely can be incredibly useful. So I am not against over-the-counter medications at all. However, if you use an over-the-counter medication for the wrong strong indication, can definitely put you down the path to making your skin problem worse. Take 1% hydrocortisone cream, for example. This is an over-the-counter weak steroid cream that actually can be very useful for treating a variety of inflammatory skin issues like bug bites on the legs, for example. Say though you have a flaky red patch, maybe a little bumpy on your face, and someone says, oh, just put a little hydrocortisone cream on it. Hydrocortisone, it works because it is anti-inflammatory. It suppresses the immune response. But here's the thing, turns out that little flaky, bumpy patch you have on your face, it's actually ringworm. Ringworm is a fungal infection. When you put steroid cream on a fungal infection, it will seemingly just melt it away. However, it's tricky. Really what it's melting away is the redness, the inflammation. But putting that steroid on there, because it gets rid of the inflammation, it allows the fungus to thrive, to multiply, to take over. And so when you stop the steroid cream, the fungus never left the building. It is there, it is multiplied, and it is even more intense. So you can make matters worse. Not to mention, in this scenario, the fungal infection, because it's just proliferating there unchecked, it can make its way down into the hair follicle, down into your pore, cause a deeper infection. So what originally was ringworm that could have been treated with a prescription antifungal treatment is now a much deeper infection that now requires an oral medication. So that is why you want to be careful. Not to mention steroids on the face, they can aggravate certain conditions. A side effect of them when used inappropriately, I want to point out inappropriate is a key word. When used inappropriately, they can cause acne, they can cause what's called steroid rosacea, rebound worsening redness. Not to mention peri-orificial dermatitis, kind of related to rosacea, these little itchy, burny, stingy bumps around the mouth kind of look like acne. Those are actually often, that eruption is often triggered by inappropriate use of topical steroids. Recently, I did a video on why your skin is not clearing up. I encourage you to check out that video because we go over a variety of skin conditions that are frequently confused for acne but are not acne. And in fact, many of these conditions will be worsened by the use of over-the-counter acne medications. Not only are they not indicated or useful, but in some cases, they can make the problem much worse. So definitely check that video out. One of the ultimate menaces, in my opinion, when it comes to an over-the-counter medication is Neosporin. First of all, it's an antibiotic ointment. The antibiotics in it are not very good. They're just not very good. But they are also sensitizing. People commonly develop an allergy to the ingredients in Neosporin. And so the allergy produces an allergic contact dermatitis that worsens the problem that was initially going on. So by the time you get in to see a dermatologist, you have a contact dermatitis on top of whatever initial problem you had going on. So it makes it very hard to figure out what's going on. Not only that, the antibiotics in Neosporin, they cultivate or promote, if you will, the emergence of resistant microorganisms. So that is one to just avoid. The other one I like to caution about is Benadryl, is a brand name, or diphenhydramine. This is an over-the-counter antihistamine. And if you're dealing with itch or rash, a lot of people will try and take Benadryl. It's not very helpful in most cases, to be honest with you. It is a short-acting antihistamine, meaning it doesn't last very long, and it is very, very sedating. The sedation may make you groggy, may make you sleepy, so much so that you forget you have a skin problem going on. But, because it is short acting, people tend to, keep taking it. They can get a lot of grogginess with it. And that is especially an issue and problematic and concerning in older adults, the elderly population, because the grogginess, the sedation from diphenhydramine, it increases confusion, risk of fall, as well as symptoms of dementia. Number 3, don't try and pick, squeeze, exfoliate, sand away whatever the skin problem is. And I'm not saying this to be obnoxious, to be, holier than thou, because I know a lot of people really, really struggle to not pick their skin. A lot of people do it when they're anxious. Having a skin problem is anxiety provoking. You want to do something about it. It's tempting, and a lot of times, like I said, people do this kind of stuff without even realizing they're doing it. But so long as you are picking the skin, it's very difficult, if not impossible, for the skin problem to clear up or even for the treatments to work. Telltale signs that someone is picking their skin, if you look at their breakouts, they typically have an angulated border. You see, the natural manifestation of acne is not to take on these angulated stellate shapes, but that is an indicator that it has been influenced by an outside force like your fingers. The skin cannot heal so long as you repeatedly traumatize and injure it via picking. Furthermore, when you pick the skin, you can introduce bacteria that lead to an infection. Not to mention, you put yourself at risk for scarring as well as hyperpigmentation, especially if you have a deeper skin tone. Stay away from any of those at-home tools and devices to try and extract things from your skin. When it comes to extractions, yes, there is a time and a place for extractions. They can actually be incredibly beneficial for the treatment of acne, but you have to extract a lesion when it is appropriate. And a lot of times people, they can't tell the difference, and the material within the pore, it's too compact. It's not going to extrude with an extractor, and they end up causing more inflammation of the skin, hyperpigmentation, and scarring. Check out my video all about how to stop skin picking. Some basic tips are to try and occupy your hands with like a craft, little stress balls. I love the hydrocolloid patches for a pimple to serve as a barrier for your fingers from touching and picking at the pimple. Okay, number 4, a lot of people will try and read the ingredients on their skincare products, worry like, is this a comedogenic ingredient? Is this what's breaking me out? Am I allergic to X, Y, and Z? But here's a place to look. What kind of hair care products are you using? Hair care products actually can trigger a variety of breakouts on the face, acne, contact dermatitis. And so pay attention to what hair care products you're using. For example, oily pomades, styling mousses, styling products can cause breakouts of comedones on the foreheads, the sides of the face. It's called pomade acne. And so stopping using those for a trial period can help improve the acne, help it to clear up. Also, a lot of people might develop a contact dermatitis, an allergy to something in their shampoo, to something in their conditioner, or to something in their hair dye, and they get breakouts of rashes along the hairline, behind the ears, can transfer to the eyelid area and cause an eyelid dermatitis. Anecdotally, I've heard a lot of people suggest when you take a shower, make sure you shampoo and condition your hair first, rinse it all out before washing your body, washing your face, because there is some evidence that shampoos and conditioners leave a residue on the skin that can aggravate acne, leave like a film behind. While that may make a difference, I would say the other thing to be really careful about when you shampoo and condition your hair, make sure you're not using too much. I know I point this out a lot, but it's a very simple thing that is not only free, but also saves you money because you end up using less shampoo and conditioner. If you use too much shampoo, it just takes more work to rinse it out. It doesn't get you any cleaner, it takes more work to rinse it out. It's more likely to leave a residue behind on the scalp, the back, could potentially trigger breakouts on the chest and back because of that, especially if you live somewhere with hard water. The surfactants in the shampoo can interact with the minerals in the hard water, disrupt your skin barrier, and cause aggravation of not only acne, but skin conditions like atopic dermatitis. You need roughly a quarter-sized amount of shampoo to adequately cleanse the scalp. Final tip is to take a skincare reset. Some people like to refer to this as like skincare fasting. Basically what it means is to just cut out all of the noise in your skincare routine, pare it down to just the bare bones basics of a mild cleanser, a moisturizer, a sunscreen. No serums, no skin brightening products, no skin lightening products, no anti-aging serums, no retinol. This is an indefinite life sentence against fun skincare products, but just for the time being, it can really make a difference because for a lot of skin conditions, the skin barrier becomes impaired. It's hyper irritable. It's a lot more sensitive to things that come in contact. The more products you use, the more it's tilting the barrier towards further disruption. It's going to allow for enhanced penetration of even more irritants, inflammation, aggravation, potentially of whatever you have going on. And so taking a skincare fast or a skincare reset is a great way to help get your skin barrier back on track. Ultimately, that can help many, many skin conditions. Maybe not clear them up, cure them, but really help calm things down. As opposed to like trying to try new products like, oh, I heard that this serum or this ingredient is good for X, Y, and Z. I'm not sure if that's what I have, but I'm gonna try it. Don't do that. Instead, just pare things down to the basics, a really, really simple bland routine. I have a whole video describing how to do a skincare reset. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. It can make a huge difference for you. As a matter of fact, it's often recommended to patients to do this like before a chemical peel or other in-office procedure to cut down on irritation related to that procedure. See, if you go in doing like a chemical peel on someone's skin and they've been using a ton of different products and they have a little bit of hyper irritable skin, well, that's not going to bode well necessarily for the overall outcome they get from the chemical peel. So encouraging them to do a reset might be recommended. All right, y'all, so those are my 5 dermatologist recommended tips for how to help your skin clear up. Now, remember this, and it's really hard, I can say it here, you can hear it, but you gotta keep remembering it, and that is doing nothing is doing something. It's a concept I really wish people would embrace, understand, and by doing nothing, I don't mean like, oh, I give up, oh, I'm not gonna bother, oh, why use this treatment, X, Y, and Z. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you are in that waiting period before you can get in to see your healthcare provider. You don't know what your diagnosis is. You don't know what's going on. You're nervous, you're anxious. Not doing anything, I'm telling you, especially with dermatology, especially with skin conditions, for a lot, not all, but for a lot, they're gonna go away if you do nothing. They'll go away on their own. By the time it's time for you to get in to see the dermatologist, by the time they call you and say, hey, we have a slot available, you'll be like, sorry, it cleared up on its own. And that will save you so much headache. It'll save you money because you're not spending money on stuff that is not gonna help. And if it doesn't work, if the skin condition persists, well, at least by the time you get into the dermatologist, you are going in there with what it is you have and not a secondary problem related to things that you have tried. You're not dealing with something that has been made worse by some of the things that you have tried. So just keep that in mind. It's like I said, it's not just the case for dermatology. There are a lot of other conditions in medicine that will go away on their own. And I think it's very annoying for patients to hear that because they have spent so much time waiting to get in to see their doctor and only to be told, oh, this is what you have, and guess what? It'll go away. Gosh, it is like so frustrating to hear. What do you mean? You're not gonna prescribe anything? Like I waited all this time, I went through all this stress, calling my insurance company, driving here, only to have you tell me this is gonna go away. Count yourself lucky. It's a win-win for everyone in that case because you don't have to deal with a pharmacy, you don't have to deal with learning how to use whatever it is, a treatment, you don't have to deal with side effects, and you have the peace of mind of knowing, whew, this is gonna go away. All right, y'all, so like I said, I really hope you all found this video helpful, especially, if you're struggling with your skin out there. I really hope that these tips offer you something, an action plan that is not necessarily going to, take you several steps back in your journey to getting things on the right track. On the end slate, I'm going to link that video on why your skin is not clearing up. Definitely check that one out. But if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.